You know, we love this jingle. I don't know why. We hear it again and again. It makes us happy. But you know what jingle I don't like to hear? It's the jingle of an ambulance rushing down the street because we have to save a life because someone's been shot. When I used to live in Toronto, people didn't believe it, but they were not that far away from my house, several blocks away. It was gang wars, and it was scary. People wanted nothing of it, and we were begging the police to come and save people and keep people safe and so on and so forth. But apparently, the Democratic Party doesn't believe in safety. The Democratic believes takes when it comes up to the nanny state, we're going to tell you what to do, how to do, why to do, when to get a COVID shot, when to take a piss, when to do all kinds of things. But when it comes to your safety, as long as a Republican is involved, it doesn't hold muster. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Rant Network. My name is David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. We are the Rant Network, where every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, we just do all these crazy things called a ranting, where we do unedited, uncensored, unfiltered, and unapologetic opinions on all kinds of stories. It's all about news, the craziness that is society, and what you and I live through. These are conversations that are usually we're seeing now in hushed tones because people are afraid to express themselves. We are not. So sit back as once again today we just peel off another layer of your Democratic Party in 2025. See, to me, Stuart, the way your country works, my country, a lot of these countries that are so-called democracies are trying to prove to you my way is better than the other guy's way. It's got nothing to do if I'm right. It's got to do that they're wrong. That no matter what they do, they're wrong. Don't question my methods. Question theirs because they're wrong. And that's exactly what's going on in the state of Illinois. You have a governor who says there's nothing wrong in the streets of Chicago as people are getting murdered, attacked, raped. It doesn't matter. The mayor of the city says the exact same thing. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then points the finger out at Donald Trump. You're an autocrat. You're a bad person. You see why you can't vote for him? He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. But what are you going to tell the families of the people who were killed over the weekend? What are you going to tell the people who want to visit the city of Chicago who know it is not safe? Stuart, to me, this is freaking insane.
David, let's face it. The left likes to play with the numbers. And they do so in ways that no other party other than the Communist Republic of the Soviet Union or China or North Korea has ever done before. 58 people were shot over Labor Day weekend. And by the way, guys, that's reported shot. And next thing is, that's just Labor Day in the city of Chicago. It's not the state. 8 people got shot and killed overnight in Chicago, been reported. The mayor is trying to say that 603 homicides and 773 homicides in Cook County is not so bad. It's 2024. Because in 2025, we're only reporting 192. That's 32% better. 192 dead. Now, by the way, ironically, the dead are majority black, African Americans. The types of blacks that are, Floyd wanting to worship people that took a knee kind of people. But the party that wanted to take a knee for Floyd doesn't want to take a knee for Chicago and Chicago people, Chicago residents, Black Americans. It doesn't matter. The violence. And by the way, how disingenuous is an almost white guy saying the Black community should be burning in the streets over this matter? You know what? In Chicago, they destroyed the education system. They've destroyed the infrastructure. They've kind of made it like a communist city almost. Don't educate the population. They don't know what's good or bad. It's political meandering at best, and the likes of which have not been duplicated in any others. It's not even as bad as in LA as it's bad in Chicago. The mayor doesn't want Donald Trump. I don't need you. You're an autocrat. You know what? I'm sick and tired of these left-wing screwballs calling the kettle black. It's just annoying as hell. It's like the Parti Québécois when we were kids, David, saying language law, language law, language law. Preserve the French heritage. It's all about language law. Or was it about torturing another group of people? The Democrats are torturing its own people. It has no identity. It has no face. It has no representation of any kind that represents for the people, by the people. It's their pocketbook. You know, recently, Ilhan Omar is now out in the press about she's a multi-zillionaire. Press doesn't want to cover that. Nothing over here. ABC, NBC, CBS, lots of black people working there. Why aren't those black reporters from The View chomping at the bit at this? The View remains silent on Trump derangement syndrome. Chicago is burning, ladies and gentlemen. Chicago is burning. Listen to my words. If you think the riots that stem from Floyd, which was a wrongful death, and you know what? Was wrong. Where are those people? Where's Black Lives Matter besides spending their money on millions of dollars on homes and luxury items? Where are the people that claim that they represent Black Americans in Chicago? They should be rioting and burning the political offices to the ground. There are moms, there's dads, there's children, there's babies, all being murdered and massacred and shot, beaten, robbed, and no one gives a shit. How, you know what? How do these people even get elected is what beyond me. How does the machine in this corrupt environment get elected and reelected and reelected? When will this end? You know, is the National Guard, David, the solution? Probably not. But what else is a person to do? I mean, I can't believe that we're here talking about this today when there's so much other news in the media that I just can't get off of this, David. This is disgusting.
You know, in true democratic ways of doing things, should you be a Democrat or a former Democrat politician or whatever, how dare you criticize the great religion of the Democratic Party? And it is like a religion. You have your supreme religious leaders who run around, whether it's Hakeem Jeffries or whether it's Nancy Pelosi, or now they're deifying AOC. The party on the left shall not be criticized. Doesn't matter what they do, Stuart. What's interesting is Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor of Chicago, who turned Chicago into a shit show and a half and during her reign of disaster. Look at her city. Look at her city, and she has the audacity to criticize Donald Trump. It's mental, like that he's got a mental issue. The current mayor, Mayor Brandon Johnson, warned the president. Him and Governor J.B. Pritzker, they warned the president not to interfere. They imagine. You tell your boss, the CEO of a company, you don't come into my department. You have no right in my department. That's what they did. They told the CEO of the United States, you can't come here. Don't interfere. It's not for you to do it. You have no rights. Now, the thing is that I don't know the Constitution well enough, but listening to the messaging is don't touch our city. We are okay. And every day someone dies of a murder, and every day someone is, mugged, and every day, I mean, for God's sakes, is there any sense, common sense? No. Because the media in that area has done a wonderful job of painting the Republicans as these extreme, racist, anti-Black, anti-democracy kind of folks. And as a result, within the communities there that are voting, they're being told, they're being brainwashed that the only solution is the solution they've been going with. It's their Groundhog Day. We've talked about this. It's just ongoing. Going. God forbid, you should look at an alternative. Now, what's crazy is that things have evolved. I would have told you maybe 20 years ago, maybe, but you've had two straight mayors who are African American who should have done nothing but save their communities. And they've done nothing. In fact, they've done worse. They made life worse in those communities for their own people. And yet they blame you and me because we're Republicans, conservatives, call it whatever you want. Point the finger. Don't look at me. Don't blame me. Always blame the other guy. That's the policy being implemented by this party, by this group of people. So every day when someone goes to the morgue for being shot, it's not, don't ever blame the Democrats. They're never wrong.
Yeah.
And so now you have one city, you have a city in the Washington, D.C. that has been safer, cleaner, better, but you don't want to see the National Guard, then do something about it. You have a police force, do something about it. But no, what you'd rather do is nothing. And by the way, Stuart, it isn't limited to cities like Chicago. You have a lot of other blue cities. We have cities in Canada that are following in the same pattern as in the United States, left-leaning cities telling police officers, don't do your job. Don't do your job. It's highly politicized because those are the people who are going to vote in that mayor. Don't arrest more people. I'm afraid to lose a vote. This is the mindset of the people. These are the people that you've elected. And they're telling you, trust me. Like,
yeah,
what?
you know, when the government says we're here to help, what we have a cliche we've been using that existed before we stole it. When the government comes to say we're here to help,
Stuart,
run.
Obama slammed Trump for using the National Guard. He says it's a dangerous trend. What are you afraid of, Mr. President Obama? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of law and order? Are you afraid that we're going to uncover, that people are going to uncover the truth, just like Doge? Like Doge uncovered so many of the skeletons in your closet. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that suddenly there's going to be a discovery that, you know what, we can actually make the streets safe in our cities? What are you afraid of, Mr. President? You had 8 years in government. You did nothing to save cities. You did nothing to do anything. You, Mr. Biden, for 4 years, none of you are doing anything. Now, there are Republican governments too that didn't do anything. They sat there and they watched as well. But here's a president who says, I don't care about anything. I care about law and order. I care about safety of the people. And what he's exposing is that the Democratic Party has no interest in your safety. They'd rather run around and talk about all these fringe issues and not about your safety. When I heard that that this so-called crime thing in the United States is a made-up policy by the Republicans, that's what the Republicans are being like, a made-up? Seriously? What is wrong with the Democrats? You guys forgot what you were elected to do. You were elected to protect the people. You know that vow, that oath you took? You're neglecting it. I think you should go to jail. If you can't keep the oath, you should go to jail.
You know what, David? And in addition to that, we have all these federal judges trying to intervene and stop and supersede. I think that their emails and their phone records should be turned over to the public. Because if, in fact, they are being ordered by a party to do this, they're no longer doing the job on the bench and they should be removed. But that's for another day, David, and another rant, because I have a way on resolving the judicial issue in the United States.
Okay, well, we'll hold off on that for another day. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. We're fed up. And we'll continue to bitch and complain until people actually wake up and do something. Folks, there's an election coming up in November, which is going to change and rattle you. If you don't vote right, and I don't mean right wing or left wing, if you don't vote in the right way, your city can end up being in flames.
David, wrap it up.